everyone, it is Mr. Dean. We are back with another episode of the special hour, all the way up to number 17 now. As always, I'm here with my co-host DonovanDud. What's up, Donovan?
Hi there, it's Donovan, and today, back-to-back episodes of a special guest. Today we have another Mario Kart Wii modder, that being Charlie Café.
Hey, how's it going?
What's up, Charlie? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Doing good. Has anything interesting happened over the past week? Because we always like to reminisce on what crazy life events or lack thereof we've had going on.
Well, I worked on an old DSi that I tried to fix a couple years ago in a video. In the video, I ended up just making it worse, but just a couple weeks ago, or a few days ago, I opened it up and I didn't really know what I did, but put it back together and it turns on now, so that's cool.
So is this a DSi that wasn't working for a long time and then you've magically fixed it?
I bought it broken on eBay to try to fix it, but I don't even really... I did so much to it before and it didn't work, and this time did nothing and it works. So.
See, this is just so fascinating to me because normally, I'm going out of my way to make sure things aren't broken whenever I buy it. So it's so interesting to hear. If you saw one that was working, you'd be like, nope, next one.
No, yeah.
That's so interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, I'm glad you managed to fix it. If I have any technology problems, I guess I'll hit you up in the future and maybe you can get it working for me.
Well, if you push down too hard on the top left corner, it turns off. So
okay.
An extra power button.
Yeah.
All right, Donovan, has anything been going on for you this past week?
Yeah, yesterday it was one of my friends' birthdays, so we went over to a ramen place. My friend is also Asian, and the waitress asked me if I was his brother. So,
wow. So, okay.
That got a good laugh. Anyway, what about you?
I mean, I think everyone can predict my answer to this question because it's become scarily routine at this point, but this week I was locked in on school. I had a test that I took 2 days ago, and then I had a midterm essay for a cultural psychology class. I got that done earlier today. Aside from that, I've honestly, one of my most productive weeks I've had in a while. I just was kind of getting stuff done this week. No, nothing too crazy.
Were you locked in like a hermit?
I was locked in like a hermit. I unfortunately was not mistaken for anyone else of my same race at a restaurant, or I did not fix any technology. Nothing crazy like that, but... Anyway, are you guys ready to talk about some games and some fun stuff?
Yeah.
Well, so before we get into the stuff that everyone came here for, we start every episode off with a thing called Special Selects, where we just kind of talk about whatever games, or if you haven't even played any games this past week, whatever pieces of media, I guess, you've consumed. Donovan, is there anything that you've played this past week that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, no, I'm no longer watching Spider-Man, but
okay.
I have finished Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Wii, and I have to say that game is so amazing. It is a masterclass in immersion. It was one of the most immersive games I've ever played. It's basically all the Prime games. And yes, I even do like the weird, stupid motion controls that are even featured in that game. It's a very... polarizing game. Many consider it the weakest of the trilogy. I don't know. I have a very soft spot for it. It's just so cool. I do like endings, and this just feels like one big, massive ending for the entire trilogy. I just have so much fun with it. It's more focused on action than the isolation of the past two games. Some may find that a deal breaker. Others say it's too linear. Some people might just be completely turned off of that. I, however, just really enjoyed every aspect of Corruption, and I cannot wait for Metroid Prime 4 Beyond to come out. I mean, just everything from, the music is great. Where is this on Nintendo Music? I have no idea. We'll get to another Nintendo Music topic after this. Oh yeah, the sound effects are so immaculate. They're better than sex. The visuals. This is one of the greatest looking Wii games ever. This game looks way better than Pokemon Legends ZA. It just tramples all over. The art style holds up so well. The motion controls are used perfectly well. They feel very immersive. Like just whipping out the grapple lasso with your nunchuck, like physically whipping out your arm to pull off like an enemy's shield. It never feels. It won't feel any better than it was on the Wii. Maybe that's a little controversial. Maybe I'm a stinker
might
for this.
like
I might like this game.
He might.
But I cannot wait for Metroid Prime 4
that's
Beyond.
interesting. That's interesting because, like, for me, I haven't played Metroid Prime 3, but from Metroid Prime Remastered, the whole isolated and secluded vibe of it was part of what I loved about that game. So the thought of a Metroid Prime game kind of embodying a whole different, like, ethos.
Yeah, Prime 3, it feels so big and grand in scale because this is the end. This is the end of Phazon, the whole Phazon crisis. You're traveling different planets instead of being like trapped on one planet. Some people may not like that. I just love the grand scale of it all. But that's enough of me.
Charlie, what have you been playing this past week?
I've been playing some Battlefield 6 that just came out.
I played the beta for it a few months ago.
Yeah, I played that. I was a little bit iffy on it with the beta because it's like the game it felt so scaled down. Part of that was the maps that they let you play during the beta were the smaller maps, but it definitely felt a little bit, it's very, very Call of Duty compared to...
Like very, very constricted feeling.
The maps are a good bit smaller, stuff like sniping, and one thing that got me was like you can't go on top of a lot of buildings, which is like that's the point of Battlefield is you can go anywhere within the map. Like you can go on the buildings and you can be strategical, but it's like no, being on top of the buildings is too OP. You know, it's like there's some stuff like that that's a little bit lame, but I went ahead and picked it up.
Yeah, I did feel like whenever I was playing the beta, it did kind of feel like Call of Duty just with more players in a way. So I guess it makes sense what you're saying.
Yeah.
Would you say Battlefield is back?
That's yeah, kind of, but it's a weird thing people are saying because like, okay, 2042, people aren't going to agree with this generally, but 2042 was definitely more Battlefield than Battlefield 6. But I think Battlefield 6 might be like a better game. But 2042 was bigger, it had the scale, it had the like wacky, crazy things that could happen at any moment. Battlefield 6 doesn't feel as much like anything could happen or you have much control over like pulling something really dynamic off, but it's still really fun. Like I've still been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, and what other things does Battlefield 6 have that the full game that the demo did not? Aside from like maps, obviously.
It's got like more weapons and more gadgets and stuff, like more things to equip and more awful mindless grinding for unlocks and stuff. Some of them are really bad. It'll be like you have to hit a certain level and then you unlock it and then you have to get like 300 sniper headshots and like inflict 10,000 damage. It's like ridiculous stuff that's going to take you your entire life to unlock. But I think they're probably going to nerf some of that stuff.
Yeah, I always found Battlefield interesting, especially because there's been times in my life where I go through a history phase and then I want to play games like Battlefield or Call of Duty, some of the more like historical shooter with sometimes with air quotes around historical.
Yeah.
But
Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed obviously is fictional, but they do play with the actual timeline of what was going on with, whether it be like Assassin's Creed 3 and the American Revolution or any of the other games in like their respective timelines. With Battlefield, I think it's cool just to like embody yourself in Battlefield 6 is set in the future, right? It's not a past game. I remember whenever I was playing Battlefield 6, there was like a bunch of modern cars and stuff. So
yeah, it's like 6 years in the future or something. They did one of those.
Yeah, because I remember whenever I played Battlefield 1, is Battlefield 1 the one that's on World War 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I grew up playing, and I liked it just because I could kind of... I imagine myself like being, in a war like from 100 years ago. It's a cool thing to like, put yourself in the mindset of.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's so much longer than I ever thought we were going to talk about a Battlefield game on this And what's great is I'm following that up with Mario Golf on the Nintendo 64.
Two sides of the same coin. You're shooting something that probably is like a round pellet.
Right. So Mario Golf on the N64, don't ask me what prompted me to want to play this. It was so random, but I was looking at the Nintendo 64 app on the NSO, and Mario Golf caught my eye, and I was like, I have not played this in years. And, honestly, like, there are parts of it that I like more than the modern Mario Golf games. I like how it's actually difficult. Like, it's not like Mario Golf where it's like almost annoyingly easy how you can see exactly, where to aim, or like whenever you're putting, exactly where your putt's going to end up, all that kind of stuff. In Mario Golf, you have to kind of like, guesstimate based on the amount of feet that's to the hole and how long it says your club is actually able to hit. There are parts of it that I still have kind of found annoying. Like, it's very slow paced. Every time you hit a shot, it feels like it takes a long time to, get to the next one. But overall, I've actually been having fun with it. And maybe I would go as far as to say that I like the game. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe next week, after I've played more of it, I'll be able to give a more definitive answer on the Mr. Dean perspective on Mario Golf. But anyway, we're not here to talk about Mario Golf. We're here to talk about Charlie's Cafe, because, like, you got a lot of interesting stuff going on that YouTube channel. So Charlie, for anyone that is hypothetically, now that we have another modding related channel, so we have to
they're really targeting us.
Charlie, for anyone that is unfamiliar with what you do on your channel, what is like an elevator pitch of what they might be able to find over there?
Well, it's always going to be gaming related. It's probably going to have something to do with 3D modeling, and usually that's with Nintendo games. But you never know.
I love how vague you answered that.
Yeah, I narrowed it down to still pretty vague.
Right. So was there a specific reason why you wanted to specifically go with Nintendo games with, like, the marketing of your channel? Because I know whenever we talked to you previously, you've mentioned that you don't play a ton of Nintendo games. So,
or like especially modding like Mario Kart courses. Even though you do like Mario Kart, but I think you like in one of your videos you did say that you like the environments of the courses a lot. So maybe yeah. What made you choose Nintendo games and Mario Kart modding?
Well, I definitely have a lot of nostalgia for Nintendo games, and there are still Nintendo games I play here and there, but I don't really play much Mario Kart at all. I mostly chose it because, like, when I was looking for videos a while back, I stumbled on Mario Kart. I think it was Mario Kart Wii at first, to look for like hidden map details basically, but it's Mario Kart Wii, so there's not that many of them. So I went to Mario Kart 8, and it's got like a ton of stuff that you can go on like noclip.website, or you can download the models and you can look around, and there's all kinds of cool detail work in them. And I think the art style too, and just the way Nintendo puts everything together, and then the fact that functions, like the way that model ties into the gameplay is like really tight knit. And I think that you basically, I feel like that's the closest you can get to making a 3D model that in itself it is the game, the way you lay it out and the way you set it up. So
could I interest you in Free Roam Mario Kart World?
Oh yeah.
I mean, Mario Kart 8's the backgrounds in their courses, they are so full of detail and life, or maybe the base game, but I feel like that's definitely influenced some views on Free Roam. But yeah, continue.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the idea, is just looking at like Nintendo's tracks for a while, seeing their details and stuff. I wanted to try and do something like that of my own. I started with Luigi Circuit. The idea was pretty much just to take a Mario Kart Wii track and then switch out all the textures for Mario Kart 8 textures that look the same, and then maybe if I'm feeling confident, switch a couple models out and see how that goes. But I didn't even mod that one in. That was more of a concept. But after that, I was like, well, everyone in the comments is asking where they can play the track, so I guess I'll try to mod it in.
And so right now I'm looking at your videos like sorted by oldest, and what I was gonna originally ask is how long did it take you to start kind of gaining a little bit of traction on your channel? But your oldest public video has 10,000 views. and like you were still getting thousands of views after that. So was it like you uploaded your first video and you just immediately kind of took off, or are there a lot of unlisted videos that I'm not seeing right now, or like what did that transformation look like?
Well, my only unlisted video is my Mario Kart World price tag video, which didn't go over too well.
That's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Other than that, everything's still up.
Okay, so I just realized that we had some audio problems, so this may sound a little bit awkward in post, but Donovan, you had a video.
Yeah,
that
we're using the time stone and we're going backwards. It's sort of. I just want to ask you about this one video title that also caught my eye. Why I regret spending 9 years playing Destiny. You did mention Destiny beforehand, and this was like a big or a part of your upbringing on YouTube. And then now seeing this video of you regretting your time with the game, could you elaborate more?
Yeah, on that? It sounds dramatic if you don't play Destiny, but if you do play Destiny, then probably makes total sense. I think most people who've been playing
I've heard
Destiny
some of the drama
feel that way.
Going around with Bungee recently, and like all the.
They're not doing
Destiny
too well.
Controversy.
I kind of feel bad for him now. I was happy at first. I was like, yeah, you keep ruining the game and making me pay for this stuff that's not worth it. And then now it's like, man, they're gonna have to shut Destiny down if this keeps going. I kind of don't want that to happen. But yeah, pretty much. I started playing Destiny in, I don't know, like 2014 or something like that when the first game came out. And it was like one of the first less MMO live service games. They had like a 10-year plan that they were going to do.
It was a big pioneer.
Yeah. But also live service games don't have a very good rap. And they're not much different in that regard. You have to constantly be buying DLCs, and things get more and more expensive, and season passes and microtransactions are everywhere, and the DLCs get worse and they get more expensive, and eventually they did a whole thing where they just straight up deleted half the DLCs, so you can't play them even though you bought them.
Thoughts on Bungie's new marathon game? Have you seen any of that?
If it ever releases, then I still won't play it, but yeah.
I still won't play it.
Yeah. Just apathy.
Yeah.
I was going to say, whenever Donovan brought up the Destiny video, I literally was listening to your conversation. I knew I was going to say Destiny. I still forgot what game it was as I was saying the sentence. So that was awesome and very professional of me. Okay, so yeah, as you were asking a Destiny question, I was assuming his answer was going to be like, "Oh, I lost a raid," and then I just
that was it.
Was like, I'm just gonna like just overreact on you. But no, like, okay, that is like an actual genuine answer. I've never really played. I played a few Destiny 2 raids back in high school, but I never really dove into the games. But after hearing that, I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, it was, the thing is, it was a good thing to jump on like 5 years ago for a couple of years, but it's just in a really sad state right now.
Okay, so one thing that I was very curious about is whenever it comes to modding and 3D modeling, this is coming from someone, and I imagine Donovan is in a very similar boat where we have very little experience nor knowledge on what goes into it. And obviously with your videos, or at least the ones I've seen, you show a little bit of like the behind the scenes of like what you're doing. And it's not at all like, you're like, okay, so step one, you do this. It's more so you're just saying what you do, and it keeps it very entertaining and energetic to watch. Very similar to how Michael Reeves with his coding videos, like let's just say you're watching him, I don't know, the one where he taught like a Ruba to like swear or something. Like whenever it comes to the actual programming, I have no idea what he's talking about, but it's still, fun to watch the video, and it's that same kind of vibe. But anyway, I was just wondering where you learned like first how to get into modding and 3D modeling, not just for YouTube, but just in general.
For 3D modeling, that was something I had like kind of messed around in it in school and stuff. Like I just make a cube pretty much and render it. I didn't really know how to use it, but I was like, I kind of familiarized myself, or I guess became a little more comfortable with just like the interface of Blender, just by kind of messing around with it a little bit. And then on my first channel, the Destiny channel I had, I did like on that channel I would like Photoshop like custom weapons pretty much. And it eventually I got to the point that I would like 3D model them in Blender. I did that only for like 1 or 2 videos and then stopped uploading on the channel. But I would say that was a point that I learned a lot of like basic Blender stuff. But I mean, yeah, it was pretty much always just getting an idea of something I wanted to make, and you know, the idea not being too ridiculous that I could never possibly make it in a reasonable amount of time or at my skill level. And then just pretty much DIY, getting to the solution of it looking kind of like how I wanted it to look, no matter the cost, no matter how much I had way too many vertices or it was about to crash my computer, just getting to the result basically. And then through repetition, you know, you get better at like refining that kind of stuff. And occasionally I'll even learn something new and look something up. But most of the time, most of what I've learned, I just kind of mess around in there and find the thing I'm looking for.
Just like you kind of learn as you go.
Yeah.
In a way that's also kind of how I assumed it would be, because I feel like with a lot of creative things, obviously you don't know how to do it whenever you first start learning. You just like, I imagine sometimes you're working on a video and then you learn something while you're, you know, producing the video.
Yeah, all the
whatever
time.
The case may be.
I'm not that good at any of that stuff. Like if you haven't really done any of it, it looks like I'm like a professional, but like a semi-professional or like a better hobbyist than me, will see how messy and slow and stupid I do half the stuff in there. Because I have no real education on it. I just know my way that I've figured out on stuff, and it's probably half of it's the wrong way. So I do learn stuff every video.
Your videos are pretty entertaining. This is going to sound like deja vu to you, but the way your videos are so entertaining, and the way you know, kind of make it like progressive, like a story. It's very entertaining, and it just makes me have the illusion that you do know what you're talking about, and you do have a lot of knowledge, and you know, you're showing us all these different processes, and I'm like, yeah, I assume this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Well, the one time I've tried to use Blender once in my entire life, and this was back whenever I made Minecraft videos, and I remember this was the time. Do you guys remember whenever YouTubers would have, like, mainly Minecraft YouTubers would have those like animated intros where it would be
popular
like their name,
MMOs?
It'd be like techno music behind it. Yeah, I tried making one of those for my Minecraft channel, and I was trying to even with a YouTube tutorial, I was so lost. I just had no idea what I was doing. So
I've only had one experience with Blender. It barely resulted in anything. It was it was very overwhelming, much like Adobe After Effects. That's also super overwhelming to me.
Yeah, I would say like that's really the first thing before you even think about getting good at like modeling or doing anything in it, is just knowing what anything does and like what buttons you are not okay to click and what buttons you are okay to click. Just like getting used to the interface is like a whole thing.
Yeah, and so whenever it comes to video editing, was that something that you learned for YouTube, or did you already know how to do that?
Yeah, that was something I learned for YouTube. Just making those other Destiny videos. Sometimes I would like, you know, throw something into After Effects and try to do like a sick PvP edit. Or it would just be like a basic, more like a scripted kind of a slower paced thing. And so I kind of learned a little bit of both ends of that, which I think is helpful.
Yeah. So just to completely shift gears, something that we were talking about the other day that I'm very curious about is that you are currently working on a game. So I don't know how much of that you're trying to keep on the down low, but what tell us a little bit more about that, whether it be like the game itself or the process of making a game and what all goes into that. Because once again, whenever it comes to game development, that's another thing that I don't know very much about.
Yeah. So I guess for whatever reason, I decided that modding wasn't enough of a headache. So now I'm trying to make a game, but it's also really fun. I think it was like partially it was like the modding stuff. I did actually enjoy the process, even though it's kind of a headache and it's kind of a puzzle. It's really satisfying, but also you're kind of, you're constrained in whatever game you're modding. So I wanted to try and make something completely from scratch. And yeah, I'm gonna start editing episode 9 of that series today. So that's going to be the next episode that comes out. I'm doing that weekly.
Well, I was literally, the whole time I was thinking of a joke that now that I'm thinking about it, it's not even that funny, but now I have to say it. I was going to say it would be funny if you release your game and then you modded your own game after you released it.
That would be kind of funny. I have to make tools. Form? Yeah.
It's a very logical progression going from modding to just full on game development. Like how different is just modding, changing up simple textures or integrating this new map in an already existing game. How different or how difficult is the process of building it from the ground up? What does that entail? Because I can yap about game design all I want, but I don't know how the hell to add a simple, polygon or a square.
Well, it's part of it is obviously harder because you have nothing to work with other than what the engine gives you, unless you decide to make your own engine, but I'm not going there. So it's
that's the next step of that. That's the next thing. That you're building. Yeah.
But yeah, so it's with modding Mario Kart, you already have Mario Kart. All you have to do is find a way to basically interject the bits of data that you need to, where you need to get your map working. And the more I talk about it, the more it sounds like this is not something Nintendo would like me describing, but yeah, pretty much it's
my next question.
Charlie, don't worry. I don't think anything that's been said in the past 2 episodes Nintendo has liked whatsoever.
Yeah, they're probably not a fan. But yeah, it's pretty much part of it is actually easier making your own game than modding, because with modding, the game is more or less sealed off. They don't want you adding things to it. That's not the point. So you have to have this whole set of tools and software and things that do these conversions and get it this way and that way. And you need to you're kind of working within somebody else's structure that you don't recognize, someone else's files and the way the whole game's all set up. So you have to familiarize yourself with this whole thing that's already built and try to get stuff in it. Whereas making your own game, you're starting with nothing, and everything you build is hopefully familiar. Actually, more now that I think about it, it kind of feels the same half the time. I don't know what I've even made, and I'm kind of confused navigating my own scripts and stuff because I'm not very good at organizing it. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely generally harder to do. Just because you have to do the thinking on well, how do I set this up in a way that's not going to completely screw me over in 2 weeks when I'm trying to build something on top of it? And that's kind of anxiety.
Right. Well, yeah, I remember that kind of is obviously what you're talking about is way more difficult than what I'm about to say. But back whenever I took intro to computer science, my sophomore year of high school, not to compare the excruciating process of game development with my Python class from 5 years ago. But I remember whenever we'd be, coding, if you mess up one line, line on a 27, you're trying to make an if statement. And then, down the line, whenever you're way further along in the process, even if you did everything else correctly, if you got that one line wrong, everything wouldn't work. So I imagine whenever it comes to actually making a game, that becomes even more complex of a spider web, because it's if you have one moving part that you got wrong, you have to figure out where that bug is in the final product.
And it's it's so open-ended that even if you typed all your lines correctly and the machine is processing what you typed, you might have just typed the wrong thing. You might have had the wrong idea on how you're supposed to set this whole thing up, because there's not one approach to it. There's almost unlimited ways you can try to put something together. And if you realize that, 6 months down the line that your character movement script should probably be set up completely different, and all of your other pieces are like based on that character movement script, then you put a lot of work for yourself ripping things up and redoing things.
Yeah, before you were making this game, or maybe even before modding, did you have prior coding experience, or maybe you're a CS major, or I don't know, you just started learning the coding when you were diving into your passions?
Yeah, I hated it up until probably a couple months ago, really. Like,
Oh, wow.
it was like completely impossible, like witchcraft. I started with Unreal Engine because they have the blueprint system where you can just put down nodes and plug them in and stuff, and that made more sense to me than like just typing the right letters. It feels like you're trying to cast an incantation. You have to say it just right for it to work.
It's like Minecraft enchantment letters.
Yeah, that's how it's like unreadable, but I've been kind of getting the hang of it, and now I feel like I actually kind of understand how it works, and I kind of know how to make stuff with the programming language I'm using.
This is so fascinating. Wait, so what you're saying is that even though right now I don't know anything about coding, in 3 months I could just be making a video game? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, you can be making the early parts of it, you know, like
I feel so inspired.
yeah, that's the thing. It's the same thing with Blender. Like, step one, you don't need to be very good at it at all to do step one. You can't do step 2 yet, but you can do step 1. You definitely can't do step 10. That's going to take a long time, but the way you learn step 2 is by doing step 1, and so on and so forth. So I'm kind of just learning the engine as I'm making the game and doing whatever that I'm able to with it right now. But yeah, I'm not prepared for it at all. So, but in a way, it is my working on it is how I'm learning it. It is my preparation. And so, worst case scenario, the game turns out horrible, and I'll be good enough to make a good game by then because I'll know what I'm doing.
And so, did you have any kind of estimated, like, I guess, timeline of how long you think the process of making the game's going to take, or are you just kind of like just going as you go, and then it just kind of gets done whenever?
Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting it to be a year or 2 years. It's probably a long time.
And do I have your blessing to make an unbiased Mr. Dean review of the game whenever it comes out?
Yep. Well, you have my blessing to make a review. Unbiased, I don't know.
So what you're saying is there's going to be a little bit of money under the table with this review.
Yeah.
Okay.
In like 5 years after the game's released, will someone make a video how this game is actually the worst thing humanity's ever created?
Yeah, the downfall.
Retrospective.
Yeah. You know what's gonna be great is I'm gonna make a 2-hour long video essay the same day the game comes out about how it's the greatest game of all time.
The next day, upload a 2-hour long downfall video about how much its popularity dropped in a 24-hour period.
The Steam charts aren't lying.
Yeah.
I should do that. Okay, so this is something I wasn't even expecting to have come up on my mind, but hearing you talk about how you're like almost a skill factory where like it sounds like every month you just learn something new. Is there anything that you've learned about learning new skills whenever, like, whether it be creatively or just in general, like whether it be finding something that you are interested in learning and then actually going about the process of, figuring out how to do it?
I think the main thing has been like there's nothing, which I mean it sounds like kind of cliche, but like there's nothing on my channel that I have gone for that, like, with just some time and commitment, like, that I didn't figure out, like, which is kind of crazy considering how it feels going into a lot of those projects. Like, updating Coconut Mall from the ground up is like, I'm seriously not in a position to do that. Like, my experience before it, like, even the Luigi Circuit one, like, a lot of those things, or the modding, like, I don't think I've ever modded a game before Mario Kart, and that's a pretty, like, complicated game to mod, and it would have been so much easier if I had actually properly prepared and, like, did some other things beforehand. But I mean, at the end of the day, I think I don't really like learning from someone teaching me, like with a tutorial or a course or whatever. I'm just not very good at taking information in that way. I just need to screw everything up on my own, basically, and like learn firsthand what to do and what not to do, which is kind of the hard way and it goes slower. But basically, like, even stuff that just seems like completely unapproachable, if you just slam your head against the wall for long enough and kind of take notes and have the mindset that you are going to figure it out at some point, then I think pretty much anyone could do most of the stuff I'm doing if they had a reason to.
I think the way that you verbally stated, like, a little bit beforehand, how basically the learning process, in order to do step 2, you gotta do step 1. And if you're not gonna do step 10, you gotta start at step 1. You just gotta get your feet wet and just learn it from there. Go climb up the ladder and just progressively learn more. You're gonna fail at many points, but that is the learning process. And
well, not to be all performative, but a really good book is Atomic Habits by James Clear. And
performative.
as I drink my matcha and pat my labubu. But no, in the book, like, the whole concept is like, if you get better just 1% every day, I think you'll end up like 30 times better by the end of the year or something like that. So it's that whole concept where it's like not trying to do so much with one step, just taking baby steps, learn step 1, then learn step 2, and like stop trying to worry about figuring all the steps out at one time. So all that does make sense. And yeah, I never even really thought about it exactly in that wording, but I agree. The only other thing that I had specifically before we go on to questions, and this is something we've kind of talked about with like basically every special guest, but I always am so interested in what they have to say, is the whole idea of work-life balance. And in our case, we're talking specifically about YouTube, but this could be applied to anything. But obviously, we're all actively making YouTube videos, which is a lot of work. So have you done anything to like reduce the like inevitable, sensation of burnout, or whenever it does happen, anything that kind of gets you out of that rut?
For me, I get bored of uploading the same thing too much a lot of times. So that's why I've been trying to like find a series or something. I think I found it now working on this game. Trying to find something that's like dynamic enough that it stays interesting. And next episode might have nothing to do with what I worked on last episode. It's a completely different process. So for me, changing what I'm doing has been something that's helped with that, which is a big reason also why I wanted to make a game, was because that feels like a thing I can do on YouTube where I have an idea every week basically, and I don't have to do a one-off Borderlands video that does really well and then never upload a Borderlands video ever again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so just like kind of mixing things up so that way you don't have to. No, I that's something that I've always kind of found to be helpful for my channel and just like other creative endeavors too, is like whenever you get complacent with one idea, it starts to feel too monotonous. So yeah, like I feel like every single time we have someone on, we kind of get a different answer, which is why I like asking this question. But have you had any periods while doing YouTube where you did have burnout and you kind of overcame it, or have you just kind of been in a constant flow state with your channel?
Yeah, I've definitely burned out a couple times. I would say you can kind of see where that happens whenever like the general thing I'm uploading takes a turn. Or halfway through the Coconut Mall video, because it took so long that I probably burned out 3 times making that video. But yeah, it's usually like I'll be uploading one thing and at first it's fun, but after a while it feels kind of like it's not very important that I upload it, almost like I don't feel a huge urge to like make this, put it together and put it out there. So I kind of usually just do some thinking on like, what can I work on next? What's the next video that sounds exciting to make and worth sharing, pretty much?
Sure. So Donovan, was there anything else that you had in mind, or are you ready to move on to questions?
I think I'm ready to move on to questions. Or I was seeing you were talking about Borderlands, and yeah, I mean recently is this Borderlands? This was 6 months ago that one of your Borderlands videos, I believe, like really popped off, 800,000 views.
Big time, yeah.
But the thing is, you did say it's like a one-off thing, But has that ever tempted you? Like, one video gets so many views and you're thinking, oh, maybe I should switch to being like a Borderlands YouTuber or something. Or
Yeah.
you just constantly, change up your flow so you don't always get bored and maybe burn out of one subject. You always find yourself, trying different things.
Yeah, so for that video, I mean, after I uploaded it, I did think like, okay, well, if I've got any other Borderlands video ideas, I better get them out there because that one did pretty well. So I did kind of a follow-up to it, but ultimately it was on the same topic, and I think I kind of explored that topic in those two videos as much as I wanted to, and I could talk more about Borderlands, but I don't have much else to say that I think is that interesting on it anymore. Like, I think those are pretty much the two Borderlands videos I have in me that aren't just milking the subject dry for the sake of uploading.
So we have 3 fun little questions today.
Wait. Can I talk about Nintendo Music for a sec?
Oh, brother. Oh.
We have to keep up this tradition. Nintendo added...
Donovan, we need to go one episode without
No. This is the greatest edition of all time. So Nintendo added...
All right, go for it.
Metroid 2: The Return of Samus to Nintendo Music. Now this soundtrack is a banger. I've been joking in the past few episodes that, they'll add like NES music where it's just a bunch of bleeps and bloops. This quite literally is that. This is the greatest soundtrack I've ever heard. Please go listen to it. It's a banger. Like, my whole family broke into my room, even my grandma, and they all asked like, who's laying down those funky beats? And I have to tell them, like, this is the greatest music I've ever heard. You have to listen to it. It's just literally just bleeps and bloops. I don't know why they didn't even bother to add the 3DS remake to Nintendo Music. They just added the Game Boy thing, and the music is just beeps and boops. Incredible. Thank you, Nintendo.
Well, we could do this exact same rant over and over again. I think there's been 7 special hour episodes where we do the exact same, like, Nintendo, like, what the hell with Nintendo Music. I've just learned to expect, like, whatever I want Nintendo to do, expect the opposite, basically.
Anyways, questions.
Yeah, so questions. If anyone has any questions, by the way, that you want us to answer, feel free to join the Special Hour Discord server where we have a Ask the Host channel where you can ask us anything you want, not just gaming. Or you can ask us in the comment section on YouTube as well. First question is from one of my friends, Jonathan, who asks, what is one thing you like about working in media, and what is one thing that you dislike? So if we all don't have like media jobs outside of YouTube, then I guess we could just answer in terms of YouTube in general. For me, one thing I really enjoy about it, I guess in terms of YouTube, is the creative expression, because I've worked a media internship before. I'm not actively doing one, but before, you were kind of, or at least for mine, I had to follow specific directions about, whatever the client wanted me to do, whether it be graphic design or editing. And that's something that in terms of YouTube, I really like, but I guess that could be something I don't like necessarily about a job where I'm not the one in charge of whatever the project is. I guess if I had to answer another thing I dislike about it, it would be how draining following analytics can be, because, or not just can be, and how much it is. Yeah, that's kind of my answer. I feel like overall it's a net positive. I really enjoy just like
Nothing
anything that has to do with, thinking outside the box. Well, there's nothing, like, I dislike the analytical portion of it, which is something that if you're working in media, especially with a marketing view, so it's something that you're going to have to get around, or you're not going to be able to really get around. But other than that, like, I mean, a lot of the aspects of media I personally enjoy a lot.
I can answer next. I guess one thing I like working in media, again, as you said before, the creative expression. I just get to make things that I'm very passionate about. I have directed a music video for a friend, and it was also in collaboration with like a former rapper, and he might give me another job for that, but that's in the works. So I haven't had any like quote unquote professional media experience yet. But I really enjoy just making just making things look cool, or making things look personal. That's one thing that I really like about media. And the other thing that I dislike is probably, again, as you said, like the analytics of it all. This is all super original ideas, but yeah, the analytics.
Yeah, I really appreciate you not copying my exact fucking answer.
Here's my Donovan sticker. I'm gonna slap it right on top of Mr. Dean. Yeah, the analytics just definitely wear things down to a point where sometimes you just ask yourself, like, is it worth putting in all this effort? But yeah, sometimes I do ask myself that question. Is this really worth all my time and effort? But usually my intuition is just make the best thing that you possibly can, because it'll make you happy.
So that whole expression thing, me too. I like that.
The Charlie Café sticker.
Yeah.
Can we have one original answer?
Yeah, pry your sticker off there and put mine on. I like that you can pretty much do whatever you want, and I think even almost no matter how niche it is, you can make it work. You can make people want to watch it. It just takes some, leaning into the algorithm a little bit and designing a good clickable title and thumbnail and all that. One thing I dislike is how low resolution the thumbnails are. What's with that? I upload it at like 4K and it's like 480 now, or like 240, and it looks horrible.
We were talking about analytics and is it worth it anymore? And then no, it's not. It's like 480p my thumbnail. No, that's valid.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so my friend Ian asks, what do you think Nintendo needs to do to redeem itself in the public eye? Not do the things that they've been doing. I don't know. I feel like it's like what I mean. Take your pick about which thing Nintendo shouldn't do, whether it be blocking like every fan game or mod the second it's created, or like being anti-creator, or being greedy, or there's plenty of things that they could not do to redeem themselves. But is there anything else that you guys had that's like more specific?
Well, I think honestly, if they all they have to do is just make really good games and keep doing that, and then I think people will pretty much forgive them. I think they could be actively doing stuff that everyone hates, but if they're making really good games, and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna buy them, and they're good.
I think for one, I think I said this before. They just gotta chillax, bro. Just take a chill pill. You gotta be word for word, way more lenient on your like copyright. I know you gotta defend your IP, but you try to just calm down for a second and like listen to your fans sometimes.
Like we're literally just on a floating rock in space. Like it's not that deep. You know
but I think one thing that they could do is go they say this a lot about Doug Bowser, how he was just a guy in the chair. He was never out in public. Honestly, if their executives are more out in public, just like they were when they were honestly sucking dick with the 3DS and Wii U, at least they had their goofy little like the people at Nintendo Treehouse, or they had like Reggie like messing around and Bill Trennan eating donuts.
Like it was fun.
Like at least when they were losing, at least they had a face of like, oh, look at those weirdos.
I don't know if they were necessarily losing with a 3DS, but definitely
not with the 3DS, but with the Wii U. At the beginning
they were,
but
definitely with the Wii U.
If like the new president or like Satoru Shibata came out once again, like the fact that those videos even exist of like Satoru Shibata or Reggie Miyamoto, of them just doing like just wacky, weird, or maybe like fun little personal stuff. Like I remember Satoru Iwata did like an unboxing of the Wii U, something that he didn't even need to do, but it just put a face that we could connect to. That's definitely something that Nintendo has truly lost, with the fact that everyone's like, oh, Doug Bowser, who is he? He showed up in like one Direct, which, I mean, he's had other public facings, but they're not, it wasn't like Reggie or other people.
Yeah. I would appreciate it if they stopped making their ads like directed at 4-year-olds. That'd be great. I'm tired of like every single time I watch a Nintendo Direct where the narrator is every single time like, now you can use the yarn Yoshi to use the power. Like, it's just like...
You don't like you want to go back to the old Wii U ads? Like, Yoshi, it's a double Yoshi explosion.
Donovan, that's literally exactly what I'm saying not to do. like, I want to go back to the original Nintendo Switch ad where it was like, you know, it didn't feel like they were just talking down to us the whole time.
Hey, idiot.
But
check out this
There isn't
game.
necessarily like one specific thing. It's just like, honestly, Charlie kind of nailed it. It's like, if they make good games, at the end of the day, people will forgive them. Like that's just kind of how it works.
So basically staying silent sometimes.
And then finally, Blu-ray comment questionnaire asks, if you could swap the popularity of just of two Nintendo franchises, which ones would they be and why? I would swap Metroid with one of their more popular ones because I think Metroid deserves more love. But I don't know which popular Nintendo series I would swap. Like what's a high-selling Nintendo franchise that doesn't need...
I was going to say the exact same thing. I was going to say swap it with goddamn Pokemon.
Actually...
Shots fired.
Actually, a modern... I even though I'm not a Pokemon... I was going to say Pokemon. Even though I'm not a big Pokemon fan, isn't modern Pokemon games like kind of not good or something?
They're controversial.
To put it mildly.
I think they're a good scapegoat in this scenario.
Okay, so yeah, let's go Metroid and Pokemon. Charlie, do you agree? Do you back this one?
Yeah. I think
Right.
I think Luigi's Mansion and Pokemon, and the reason being because I play. The reason is because I play Luigi's Mansion and I don't play Pokemon, so it's not like it's not like they deserve that or anything. It's just selfish. Like, yeah, I want more Luigi's Mansion games.
Honestly, just give Pokemon less sales, so that way Game Freak will have to try.
Yeah, so they can wake up.
You can do that. Yeah. So yeah, don't even swap the sale. Just lower sales.
Yeah, net negative.
Yeah. Okay, so okay, well that's a lovely way to end the show, just pissing people off. That's awesome. Okay, so that's it for the special hour number 17. Thank you so much everyone for watching, and thank you Charlie for coming on the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, so where can the people find you on the internet if they want to maybe check you out?
You can find me on Charlie's Café on YouTube, and I think I have a Twitter and a Reddit.
I think I have a Twitter.
Yeah, I might. If you look for it, you might find it. It's probably me. It might be a fake one. So
okay.
If I ask,
Donovan. Oh, sorry.
If I ask you to send me money, then that's definitely me.
Oh,
Wait,
That's not a fake.
I'll send over my allowance.
Yep.
Okay. Donovan, where can the people find you?
You can find me DonovanDud on YouTube. You can also primarily interact with me on my Discord, the Nintendo Boys. I'm also on Instagram, and I might be on Twitter.
Go find out. Okay, and then wait, Donovan, you didn't ask me.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask yourself. You were in the process of, but where can we find Mr. Dean?
Thank you, Donovan. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Like, thank you.
Mwah.
Okay, so if what the fuck? So you can find me at MrDean44 on YouTube. Lots of fun little Nintendo videos, reviews, retrospectives, rankings, that kind of thing. I may be on Twitter actually. Go type in MrDean44 and find out for yourself. And then I'm also on Blue Sky. I have a Discord server, which finally we've slowly been being a little bit more active. A little bit. Our main chat was actually being used a little bit, and I used my music chat to say a song that I really liked, and someone responded. So it's finally trending in the right direction. Hopefully next week I can report back and say that the server is just flying with popularity. But yeah, so once again, thank you everyone for watching, listening.
Thank you.
And I hope to see you in the next episode.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.